Say hi to mommy's friends. Ready? Hello. We are live from the middle of nowhere. And if you are getting the reference that's why I'm playing Mbop, which comes from the Hanson album, Middle of Nowhere, then you and I were destined to be friends. You know that. I'm on a family vacation. We took a little Oh, if I pop out like that, I promise I'm coming back in. Erin says, Hanson. Okay, baby, you want to go see Daddy? Yeah. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, we're playing Hanson. Okay, there are children everywhere. We are in a rustic cabin in the woods. If you're just logging on, I have not been kidnapped. I'm okay. I'm on a vacation. We didn't know what to do or where to go to get like COVID safe family time. Evan wrapped Love Island. He has like a little window before he goes on to another show. So we made a last minute decision to come out to Joshua Tree, which is literally like the middle of a desert. And here we are. And I was like, you know what? Maybe Evan said, maybe you shouldn't do a live. We're out on this trip. And I was like, no. This is the best part of my week, getting to see you, getting to see all of you hollering in the comments. Like, we have a thing going on. Plus, I promised you we would play a game, and we're going to do that. Thank you, Katie Marie, says Country Chic. Thank you so much. By the way, I put up makeup and deodorant on just for you. It'll be coming off immediately after. But I don't know if you have been on oh, the children are crying. It's a whole thing. I don't know if you've ever been on like a hiking trip with your small children, but we came here because it was just like rugged terrain and we thought we would just do hiking. Oh, wow. Hi, baby. You want to show me? Feed me? We're bribing them with snacks. We thought we would go on like hikes, but this morning we got here last night. Thank you. Okay. That's the Cheeto. What a way to start it live. We got here last night. And this morning we got up first thing. We got him all ready for hiking. We were like, here we go. We get 10 steps out of the cabin. And it was like, I don't want to hike. I'm tired. Right, Dre? I want to go back to the cabinet, which is what they call a cabin. And I'm not correcting it because it's incredible. Sorry, I really need to wash down that Cheeto with this canned margarita, which is a really classy thing to drink. Here's the children. If we just zoom in on their faces. One of them literally was... This vacation is going great. Less than 24 hours out here in the woods. Drinking a canned margarita with a crying baby. Bribing them with Cheetos in and out of the cabin. That's literally how we got them to hike, was just a bag of Cheetos. And you know what? If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Daddy is going to be alone with the children for the duration of this live because we have a lot to talk about. First things first, I want to make a mega announcement. Thank you. Erin says these margs are the best. I've never had one. It's my first canned margarita, and I got to say, the more he cries, the more I'm enjoying it. Okay, so drum roll, please, because I have a really exciting announcement that I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm on vacation. I'm in a cabin. I don't know if I'll get out of here alive, so I'm going to tell you. Drum roll, please. I launched New Mom Who Dis on Facebook Watch 18 months ago. And you know, when you have an 18-month-old baby, you start to feel like it might be time for a second. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to announce that I am launching a second baby next week. The New Mom Who Dis Instagram page is going live next week. It is going to be everything New Mom Who Dis and so much more. And we are launching it with 5 days of giveaways. So like thousands of dollars worth of prizes. So many of the companies that I love have given us things to give away to you. And I know you're going to be all up on the page. So if you're like me, like a bit of an Instagram person, we're getting all up on there. My second baby is an Instagram baby, and I hope you're there. Thanks, Erin. Congratulations to all of us. I really hope it's something we're all going to be able to enjoy. As for tonight, hi, Joanne. I hope you have your canned margaritas ready to go because we have a lot to discuss. We're going to talk a little bit about Chrissy Teigen and everything that happened this week in terms of that controversy. We're going to talk about a placenta art from a Gossip Girl star. I don't know if you saw this, but I want to know, did you have a relationship with your placenta? We're going to get into that. And we're going to play the game that you forced me to make called Name. We just went to black for dramatic effect. I swear it was not the Wi-Fi in this weird cabin. Last week, you demanded that this week's game be a name that kids' television show characters. And ladies and gentlemen, I am going to deliver. Later on in the show, we're going to play Name That Kids thing. Dre, did you practice with me earlier on today? Dre practiced the game earlier on, and he got like 4 out of 5, right? You were only stumped by 1. So I hope you guys do better than my child. I mean, I don't know if that's something to be proud of as like a 36-year-old woman that you knew every children's character, but I'm telling you, you will be tested later today. So let's get to it with Today in Celebrity Mom. The first story we need to talk about is the $12,000 backpack that nearly crashed the New Mom Who This Facebook watch page. I posted about this. This week, Kylie Jenner sent her daughter Stormy to her first day of preschool wearing a $12,000 Hermes backpack. Here's the video. That was the... There you go. She looks happy. She's excited to go to school. People zoomed in and noticed that it was worth $12,000, that backpack. Those cars she was jumping around also looked very valuable. And you had thoughts on the page. I was just putting the question out there, which is if you can afford it, like she's reportedly worth $1 billion. If you're worth $1 billion, can you afford to send your kid to school with a $12,000 backpack? Is it relative? Is income relative? I send my children to preschool with $12.99 Toy Story backpacks. There they are. Adorable. But I'm not a billionaire, shockingly. So maybe relatively speaking, it all makes sense. Would you send your kid to school with a $12,000 backpack if you could afford it? Leah says, we are $9 Walmart backpack people. Where's my air horn? There it is. A lot of Walmart, a lot of Dollarama backpacks, I noticed. Cheryl says, no, it's going to wreck the same way the $30 backpack would wreck. Absolutely not. Ha, ha, ha. Here are some of your comments from the page. Oh, spoil them run and potentially raise little a-holes. It's true. Maybe that's why I get them $12 backpacks is because I don't want them to grow up to be entitled, everybody. I want them to grow up to, live a rustic cabin life. I don't know. On the page, you said you had a lot of strong opinions. Ellie said, of course, it's okay if you can afford it. Fair. Emily said, that's my mortgage for the year right there in one freaking backpack. Hell no, my kid would not get a $12,000 backpack. Decisive. Monique, this is my favorite. Monique says, I say to each their own. If I could afford it and my kid wanted it, sure. But in my experience, children always want the tackiest character stuff. This is her child with a Spider-Man backpack. Monique, you said it very nicely in this comment, but let's just admit it. Children are born with terrible taste. I don't care if you're a Kardashian or a Webster. You are born with bad taste. My kids are naturally drawn to the ugliest, cheapest, tackiest shit available for purchase. I have now banned character clothes from the house. I mean, like a Toy Story shirt, a Paw Patrol. They don't come in the house because they fight about it, because then they don't want to wear any other clothes, because God forbid he has the shirt with the green dinosaur and mine is blue. We cut it off. Grandpa gave us very lovely Toy Story shirts for their birthday. I hope he's not watching. And I told them that they were night shirts and we could only wear them to sleep. Because you know what? I can't deal. They like the tackiest shit. Okay, Kimberly says, if I were that kid's pre-K teacher, I'd pocket that backpack. Can I just say, Kimberly, this comment, I did some digging and I looked up the average teacher's salary in California. The average teacher in California makes $40,000 a year. Can you imagine if a 2-year-old walked into your class wearing 1/3 of your annual salary? Nope. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. No. Okay. Cheryl says they have the worst taste. Yeah. Let's just get children have really heinous taste. Tina kind of came on the page and she accused me of mom shaming. And I have just by bringing this up. And I just want to be very clear. I am not mom shaming. I do have questions. And you brought these up earlier. These are practical questions. How do you fit a lunchbox and a water bottle and an extra pair of shoes and underwear and a change of clothes in there?
Mommy, we had a marshmallow.
You had a Dre had a marshmallow, everybody. Dre, I'm going to put a large crowd applause sound effect on for the marshmallow. Did you like that? Yeah. What do you do if like she pees? Do you put the wet underwear directly in the $12,000 backpack? When the teacher like doesn't close the half-eaten lunch properly and she puts it back in, does the watermelon juice just seep out into the bottom? Does the peanut butter and jelly get all over the sides? And are you okay with that when your $12K Hermes backpack comes back covered in peanut butter? Because I'm not sure I would be. It's practical. It's not shaming. It's just practical, not judgmental, simply asking. My kids started school 2 months ago and their Toy Story backpacks look like they've gone to war. Like it's terrifying what they've been through. So that's all. As a mom, I have questions, but you know what? Stormy is adorable. And clearly she has better taste than all our tacky ass children. So Stormy, you do you. Do we feel good about that talk? Should we move on? Okay, I feel good about it. So next, I want to talk about another celebrity mom that I posted about on the page this week. As you all know, this is a hard turn. Chrissy Teigen experienced, just as I took a deep breath to move on to the very dark subject matter, Lindsay pops in with, my son loves marshmallows. We did go to the country store today here in the middle of the desert to pick up some marshmallows. And the marshmallows, just going to report, were right next to the Make America Great Again Trump 2020 hats. So that's the part of the world that we're in. And I was like, oh, no, just reaching for the marshmallows to make s'mores. There you go. Okay, back to the subject at hand. I just wanted to quickly talk about the Chrissy Teigen controversy around. She shared that she had tragically lost her baby. And she shared, even looking at those photos is triggering. So I apologize for anybody because I know it's really hard. And I posted on the page just, a tribute to her and to all of the women, the 1 in 4 women who have experienced a miscarriage or infant loss, and how grateful I think we all were to her to have that moment to grieve together. I think it was really brave what she did. And many of you shared your own stories and shared your own condolences in the comments. And I'm really grateful that you did, because I think it's such an important conversation. And please tell me how you felt about her sharing the news right now in the comments, because a lot of people thought it wasn't appropriate. A lot of people took the opportunity to talk about her and why they didn't like her for other reasons. And I think we can all agree, it's just not the time. You never come after a person, let alone a mother, in her darkest moment. You don't do that. And I think what she did, sharing that moment, provided so much comfort for so many people who have gone through something similar. And it did, and it will continue to stop spread the stigma that still exists around miscarriages and infant loss. And I'm sorry, I'm like getting very emotional because it really took me back to my own experience. And a lot of you know that I shared this in our very first episode of New Mom Who This. So if you haven't seen it yet, go way back, episode 1, season 1. In my pregnancy episode, I talked about how we had this really scary time in my pregnancy. I was like 22, 23 weeks pregnant with my identical twins. And we knew it was a high risk pregnancy from the very beginning. My OB at the very beginning said, you have high risk mono-identical twins. So I would advise not sharing the news with everybody. And so I told obviously my closest family and friends, but I didn't announce it publicly because she had warned me. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because at 23, 24 weeks, our kids developed something called twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome. We were told that we were going to lose both babies unless we underwent a really very high risk laser surgery. And we had no choice. And so I went in for this surgery, and they literally stick a laser. Well, I promise I'm going to come back. There I am. They try to separate this little membrane between the boys so that they both get equal nutrition from the placenta. And they told me before the surgery that we had a 70% chance that one of the twins would survive and a 30% chance that both would survive. And after the surgery, you have to sit for 24 hours in the hospital, just waiting to see if your babies had lived. And I will never forget that day, because everything goes through your head. And for that 24 hours, I just was assuming the worst. And I think that's like, I was preparing myself for the worst. And the one thing I kept thinking over and over again was, I'm so glad I didn't announce this. I'm so glad I didn't tell anyone other than my closest friends and family that I'm pregnant with twins, because imagine what it would be like to lose the babies or to lose a baby and have to go through that loss publicly, that private loss in such a public way. And of course, 24 hours went by and the sonographer came in and she said 2 heartbeats. And like, I still remember the feeling. It was like the luckiest, most grateful I've ever felt in my whole life. And our little boys obviously made it, and they're here and they're happy and healthy. But it all came back to me in that moment with Chrissy Tiegen, because I thought, she had announced it. They had announced it in this very joyful way. And whether or not they wanted to share the loss publicly or not, they had to, because it was out there. And the way that they did it, I thought was the best way that they could and the most honest way. And I really empathized, and I was really grateful for her. So, yeah, there's oh my God, my little 3 and 4 pounders. There they are. Oh, guys, it's not just the canned margarita. It's like, I've kind of put it out of my mind that we went through all that, because now they're just maniac terrors eating Cheetos in the middle of a desert. But like, we're just so lucky that they both made it, and so many women aren't as lucky for so many reasons. And so my prayers, my hearts, my thoughts are with all of you, and we grieve with you, and we stand with you. And as moms, we know how hard that pain is. So I just wanted to do a large crowd applause number 5 sound effect for Chrissy Teigen for sharing her own story. And more importantly, to all of you too, for having the courage to like jump in the comments here and jump in the comments on the page. Wow, this comment is so big. I'm like the guy from Home Improvement. We kept our daughter quiet other than close family. She was IVF baby and had some complications. We even kept her birth silent for 6 days other than close family. The cord was wrapped around her neck at birth. No sound upon arrival, just chaos with no one telling us what was happening. Oh my God, Jen, I can't even imagine. But you kept it quiet. Like, it's such a hard thing, because you want to shout from the rooftops and you want to share the joy with everybody. But at the same time, we all know that it's not, nothing is given even until, I don't know, not until you're home with that baby. Like, it's all so we're also lucky. We're lucky to be here. We're lucky to be moms, however we became moms. And thanks for sharing all of your experiences, because I think it helps others who may be going through the same thing. So I want you to know, with that in mind, that we're going to start opening up the page to some of you. So if you have stories you want to share, funny, hard, sad, you name it, let us know in the DMs. If you want to post something on our page, we would be so welcoming of it, because it's not just my experience as a mom that we want to share. You're on the new mom community. We want to share yours too. So if you want to write something, a little micro post, a blog post, like, let us know. We would love to share it, and maybe your story will resonate with others like Chrissy's did. Okay, round of applause. Let's move on to baby joy, ladies and gentlemen. Penn Badgley from Gossip Girl and You. He's like the creepy one in You, right? Okay. He had a baby. So his wife shared the news with this very beautiful and moving placenta art on her Instagram page. So if you, like me, are unfamiliar with placenta art, I looked into it, and trust me, you don't have to. You don't want to. I did it for you. It's where you inject your placenta with like a natural dye. Then you press it onto canvas to create what is called a lifelong memento of your child's birth. You know what? Like, when I see it actually here, I think it's kind of cool. Like your placenta, I mean, I don't want to speak for your placenta. I'll speak on behalf of my own placenta. But my placenta worked harder than anybody. I mean, it was feeding 2 babies. That thing is a miracle worker. So that's cute. I actually like that art. So this is my no judgment question. Did you mess with your placenta? Did you touch it? Did you look at it? Did you eat it? Did you make lifelong, lasting, beautiful art with it? Tell me in the comments. I will tell you. Now that I'm drinking and just cried. I really looked into eating your placenta, because I gave birth in LA, and 90% of the women in LA are like, oh, you have to eat your placenta. The Kardashians ate their placenta. I know someone who can make your placenta into pills. And I was like, well, maybe I should eat my placenta. Looked into it, decided wasn't for me, decided I'm good, don't need anything to do with my placenta. And then I had the boys push 2 babies out. They were whisked away. There were like 30 people in our hospital room because they were so high risk. Whisked away. Evan is gone. The delivery room is empty. It's like me and the doctor and a couple of other people. My epidural is wearing off. I'm like sobbing and alone and very high. And the nurse was like, did you want to see your placenta? And I was like, yeah. So she brought it over, and I just put my hand in like kneading bread. I just got right in there, and I was touching it and feeling it. It was so big and like thick and slimy. I had a real moment alone with my placenta where I thanked it. I touched it. I felt it. I, again, will reiterate, I was very high, but we had a moment where I got to say thank you and goodbye. And it was a nice one. It wasn't art, but it was a nice moment. Anne-Marie says, my husband thought my liver came out. Nah, was my placenta. Your husband really wasn't reading the What to Expect books with you, was he? Grew up on a farm, says Kristen, didn't need any more exposure. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine how horrific a cow or a pig placenta is. Cheyenne May says, I was put under for my daughter's birth, so I never saw my placenta. I wish I could have. Honestly, if I knew of the art, I likely would have done it. It's cool, right, Cheyenne? On paper, I was like, oh, hell no. I don't need a stamp of an organ, but it's pretty. I think it's cool. Currently, I have no art in my wall, so I'd like a placenta piece. I got the tour from my midwife. My wife had to leave the room. They're cool. Wait, you got the tour? The tour of your placenta from your midwife? Yeah, it was like me. My partner also had to leave the room, and I was like, cool. Okay. Just did the most miraculous thing a human being can do, and now I'm all alone with my placenta. Juliana says we couldn't stop poking it, right? It's like whatever that thing in kids is where they need to feel slime. I was like that with the placenta. Like if I could keep it in that like moist, this is getting really off the rails. If I could keep my placenta in that like moist, juicy state and just have it around for when I feel like stressed or tense and I could just squeeze it, I would. It felt really satisfying. Again, could have been the drugs. The hospital lost my first placenta and the second one is in the freezer. Wow, wow, wow. Sabila Coley, I have questions. How does the hospital lose a placenta? They just have so many. How do we lose? I guess I'm glad they lost the placenta and not the baby. There is that. Also, tell me about that placenta in the freezer. What is it there for? Are we going to throw it on the barbecue next summer? What are we doing with that placenta? Is it shocking every time you think it's a piece of frozen meat and it's actually your placenta? I need to know more. Like I said, inviting people to write blogs. Sabila, I'd love you to write one about your frozen placenta. Please be the first. Heather says, yes, Heather Fleming. Hi, Heather. Heather Fleming is a doula, and she was our nanny when we were first in Toronto with the little boys. Hi, Heather. And I encapsulate them with my job. I've seen all different types. They are amazing. Encapsulate as in turn them into pills and then eat them? Is that what encapsulate means? Because like that I looked into too. And you have to cut it up and put it in the blender. I promise. There I am. It's very like that show that I don't know. It's a lot. It's very bloody. Once it here's Lindsay. She's back. Once it goes into the freezer, it never comes out. What are you supposed to do with it? That's what I'm saying. Also, it's like, you're like, oh, is this where I put the ice cream cake? And you open the tin foil and you're like, no. That's not the ice cream cake. Having a baby during COVID, they just didn't do anything they did with my first kid. Yeah, it's true. If you go in there like this during the global pandemic and everyone is in masks and getting your baby out safely is like, the only concern. And you're like, I'd like to encapsulate my placenta and print it on a piece of canvas. They're going to be like, you know what? You'll be lucky to get out of here safely. That I understand. Yes, Heather says, hi, turn them into pills. You dehydrate first. Okay, Heather, again, let's have a whole placenta section of the page. This is exciting. Yeah, I've read about the pills. The Kardashians did it. And now they're buying $12,000 backpacks. So who are we to judge? Lindsay says, a friend of mine kept hers, forgot about it, eventually planted it under a tree. Okay, so you could take it out of the freezer, plant it under a tree. And that tree better grow. Ladies and gentlemen, I was about to end the conversation on placentas, but Abby Babel, no relation to Matt Babel, might be, who knows, comes in with use it for bruises and boo-boos in place of an ice pack. We have a boo-boo buddy in our freezer for when we get boo-boos. Now it's just going to be the organ buddy. You got a boo-boo, honey? Let me just get out my placenta. Here, that'll make it better. It probably will. Thank you for that just absolutely rousing conversation about placentas. My eyes have been opened. I learned so much from you today. What great joy. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Amy goes, just logged in. Wow, what are we talking about? Also, where are you, Jessi? Are you okay? I'm in a cabin in the woods. I'm okay. I'm on a family vacation in the middle of nowhere, and yet I forced my family outside so that I could have this private live with all of you. Because honestly, this is the highlight of my vacation for me. It is a vacation from like my week, getting to talk to you live and learning all about your frozen placentas. So hi, Anne-Marie, welcome. You came just on time because ladies and gentlemen, but let's be honest, 90% ladies, it is time to play Name That Kids Thing by popular demand. Okay? As in, you forced me to do this. So last week, Some of you did not do so well with the whole celebrity mom game. You were very upset. You wanted a game where you could prove yourselves and your knowledge. So you told me to do a game where you have to guess kids' characters from kids' TV shows. And I'm here to deliver that game. And you better nail this one, Lisa. Lisa, I think you're the one who asked for it last week. You better nail it, Lisa. Okay? And I don't know if this is something to really be proud of, to be honest, nailing if you know all of these, but please, I want you all to go 6 for 6. AC is ready. Lisa is ready. I am ready. Here's how it works. I will show you a character from a popular children's show. You tell me the name. I want specifics. I don't just want the show. I want the name of the character. You're ready. Here we go. Name this kids thing. Okay, let's be very clear. We want to know the specific character. Look closely. This one I want you to, okay, Stephanie jumped in with Peppa Pig. Stephanie, it's a layman's answer. Just going to say that. Props Pig? What is Props Pig? No, Pega. Pega with stars. Mommy Pig, Pepper Pig. Yes, Christine, you got it. Mommy Pig from Peppa Pig. Told you it wasn't going to be easy. Wasn't Peppa. You don't think I would go that basic. Mommy Pig. And you can always tell it's Mommy Pig because she has the eyelashes, you know? She's like what I would look like as a pig. The internet wasn't ready for my eyelashes. Just like Mommy Pig. All right, Jess, you're creating your own real life learning farm. If you know, you know. Oh, well, you know. I do know Learning Farm. What do you think I am? Of course I know Learning Farm. I have 2 3-year-olds outside. Let's move on to question number 2. Here it is. Name this kids thing. Look very closely. I believe this show is produced in Canada. I believe it is. So this is a proud moment. Who is this character? From what show? I will let you know when we were running through the graphics earlier on, my children, this was their favorite. Jessica! Oh, Deanna! Deanna says Daniel Tiger. That is incorrect. Crystal says Margaret Tiger. Lindsay says something Daniel Tiger. Ladies and gentlemen, you're right. It was Margaret. But you know what? It just occurred to me. Margaret is Daniel Tiger's little sister. Does that make her last name Tiger? Many of you put Margaret Tiger. And you know what? I'm going to accept it. Congratulations. You're 2 for 2. Margaret. Oh, Bronwyn actually did not know that one. Is that because you're not into Daniel Tiger yet, or you just didn't know the specifics of Daniel Tiger's baby sister? I think she comes at a later season. So if you're starting from season 1, you might not know her. Now we're getting into the embarrassing facts. Yes, Jen has her son playing. Jen, I'm not going to accuse you of cheating, sort of cheating, but it's resourceful. So if you got a kid in the background, get them to play. Stephanie got one. Congratulations. Moving right along. Question number 3. Name this kid thing. Who is this? Shanika says I really should start having kids just to be a pro at this game. No other reason. No, Shanika, you're a much smarter person for it. You don't need to know who this is. This is when we as parents it's a side effect of having children is that you know who these people are. I can't tell you a single cabinet member of the Canadian government, but I can tell you who this is. Jessica, right out of the gate with Marshall. That is correct. Marshall from Paw Patrol. Fun fact, my kids we're not onto Paw Patrol, but all of their little friends at preschool, this is such a weird thing to say. One of their friends, Miles, has a Paw Patrol mask. And I was like, well, maybe my kids they have refused to wear a mask. And I was like, well, maybe if I got them some Toy Story mask they would wear. Their friends love Paw Patrol. They're not into it yet. Oh, Tara says he's her fave. Okay. Great. Oh, currently watching, says Bronwyn. Yeah, you have to have something on so the kids are occupied and you can watch me. All right, we're moving right along. If you're 3 for 3, let me know in the comments. We have 3 more. Who is this? Name this kids thing. I just want you all to know that, again, when we were running through these graphics with my children present, they got all of them. Paw Patrol, Margaret, they knew Mummy Pig. They thought this was Mummy. Okay? Their guess when they saw this very pert woman with red pigtails, they said, that's Mommy. And you know what? In my dreams, it's me. That's a far more successful version of me. Oh God, I don't put on wiggles, said Madison. Well, you're in the ballpark, Madison. Taylor, no. Your son has a crush on this wiggle? Can you name this wiggle? We've established it's a wiggle. Jessica! Da, da, na, na. It's Emma! It's Emma from the Wiggles. Abby says, some lady with red hair. Your sister, Abby? Okay, that's not, as redheads, we don't appreciate being compared to each other. Even though my children think that I am anyone with red hair. They will physically go to another woman with red hair because they think that she's me. My nephew is in love with her. Oh my God, Carmen. All of these young men lusting after Emma Wiggle. I also like that we gave Margaret the last name Tiger and we gave Emma the last name Wiggle. All right. Oh, your daughter is supposed to be asleep, but she just whispered Wiggles. I love that we have all the ringers coming on board to play. Okay, just 2 questions left, and we're upping the difficulty. Here is the next question. Jessica says it's sad how many she's got. I'm with you. Name this. The Jeopardy music is coming on. Can you name this kid's thing? Dre has come back. He wants to play along. Who is this? I told you it was getting challenging.
I want that.
Okay. The boys are back to play along. All of you dragged your kids in. Oh, Taylor says not a clue. Okay. Okay. Is anybody getting this? Wait. Mama McStuffins. Yes, Nat. Evan, did you get that one?
No, that's the mother.
That's the mother. That's Doc McStuffin's mom. I told you it was going to get real challenging up in here. Can we go back to our last question, Dre? I want to see if you can name who this is. The previous question, let's throw her up on the screen.
Whoa.
Who's that, Dre? Who is it? Who? Mommy? Yeah. That's it's not Mommy. That's an Australian lady who apparently has a lot of crushes from young boys around the world and probably can afford to send her kid to school with a $12,000 backpack with that Wiggles money. All right, last question. Ladies and gentlemen, Evan, I want to see if you can get this one. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Name this kid thing. Okay. We know what show it's from.
Sesame Street.
That's right, Rio. It's from Sesame Street. But can you name this specific character from Sesame Street? Name this kid's thing. Zoe, says Nat. That's a great guess. Zoe is one of those, came in later. All right, time is up. AC comes in with the guess. Evan, do you know who this is?
Confirmed. Rosita.
Rosita! You came in and you got the last one. Do you think you could have gotten all of them?
Margaret, for sure.
Yeah.
Marshall.
Yeah.
I would have known it was Paw Patrol, but not the specific.
Yeah.
Emma, no way.
No.
Doc, no way.
No.
Rosita. I would have gone 2.5 for 5.
Margaret.
Margaret.
Margaret! We
No,
love Margaret.
Margaret.
And that's how you play. Say it with me.
Name that kid's thing.
Like many of you said, I'm not sure if you should be proud if you got 6 out of 6, but let me know in the comments. 4 out of 6, Christine, pretty good. 5 out of 6, are you ashamed, Amanda? Please. Not a tiger house. Okay, Lindsay, totally fair. Not a tiger house.
While Mom was doing a show, we broke an expensive rock.
You've all been to like hotels or rental places where there are nice things around and your kids are just staring ass. That is
Let's play a game. Does that rock cost $5 or $5,000? We will find out on next week's Jessi Show. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this week's live. 1 out of 6, Madison. I don't judge you. I hope you're drinking a canned margarita. We'll blame that. I'm going to play Hanson. And I'm going to tell you how thankful I am to all of you for celebrating this Wednesday, this upcoming long weekend, this rugged cottage vacation, all of the good things. Thank you for celebrating them with me. New Mama Ludes drops on Instagram next week with 5 days of giveaways. I can't wait for you to be there. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving, everybody. Have the best long weekend. Mwah!